There has never been a more treasonous atmosphere hovering over Washington, D.C. than there is today. The Daily Caller reports Florida Democratic Representative Alcee Hastings made this joke about President Trump during a rally in Florida.
He said, "Do you know the difference between a crisis and a catastrophe?" And no one held their hand, so Ari answered for us. He says, "A crisis is if Donald Trump falls into the Potomac River and can't swim." And he says, "and a catastrophe is anybody saves his ass."
The left's constant barrage of death threats regarding the commander-in-chief has become par for the course, all in thanks to the narrative developed by the groaning sore losers from the intelligence community.
Now you're seeing this collective response together with particular actors such as Robert Gates, General Petraeus, people that have not particularly been in the political fray,
right,
who've remained really quiet. Some people thought because they were looking for new positions in the administration as things shifted. But you can see this is definitely a line that was crossed.
And we take a significant offense at those who claim that John doesn't have integrity, that John lied to Congress, that John did this or John did that. And so we wanted to push back against that. We wanted to be supportive of John's time in government.
The fact that he's using a security clearance of a former CIA director as a pawn in his public relations strategy, I think is just so reflective of somebody who, quite frankly, I don't want to use this term maybe, but he's drunk on power. He really is. And I think he's abusing the powers of that office. I think right now this country is in a crisis in terms of what Mr. Trump has done and is liable to do. What really gets under my skin is Mr. Trump's lack of decency, integrity, honesty, and his lack of commitment to this country's well-being and national security. Mr. Trump is motivated by whatever is in the best interest of Mr. Trump. That has been his modus operandi for many decades. I was hoping that he was going to change once he assumed the solemn responsibilities of the office of presidency. That's why for my first year, I sometimes spoke out when he was in front of the agency's memorial wall and spoke about the size of his inauguration crowd. But I did it very, very selectively. I gave him a year. I said, maybe he is going to adapt and change. But it seemed like day after day, week after week, month after month, things just got worse. And he did not live up to, I think, what Americans expect of the President of the United States. To speak with great forcefulness, but to do it with integrity and honesty. And Mr. Trump, time after time, I think, has really just disappointed millions of Americans, which I'm trying to give voice to. And so I know a lot of people think that a former intelligence official shouldn't be doing this. I don't consider what I'm doing political at all. I've never registered as a Republican or a Democrat.
Well, you have to realize John Brennan started his illustrious career by voting for the Communist Party. You know, that's who he wanted to win the presidency back in the 70s, so he voted for the Communist Party. When he came to be head of the CIA, I filibustered him because I thought he was bad news from the very beginning.
Brennan's delusional mind has even led him to believe he can sue the president over his cherished security clearance. And as expected, all is not well in Treasonville. They are beginning to cannibalize their misguided mission, turning on each other. And the unraveling continues. As Zero Hedge reports, the FBI has been dealt a major blow after a Washington, D.C. judge ruled that the agency must respond to a FOIA request for documents concerning the Bureau's efforts to verify the controversial Steele dossier before it was used as the foundation of a FISA surveillance warrant application and subsequent renewals. Problem is, the Steele dossier isn't worth the paper it was printed on. Will the judge's FOIA request put an end to the Russia collusion fairy tale once and for all? John Bound reporting.